Good morning, traders. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. How's your week going so far? Let me know how your Tuesday was. I'd love to hear about it. Even how your London session was if you trade London. Did you manage to execute well? Let me know. I wasn't able to trade London today myself. Alrighty, let's jump over to the calendar. See what is going on today. So we do have high impact news today. Quite a lot of it actually, kicking off at 8:15 with the ADP non-farm employment change, advanced GDP at 8:30 with employment cost index, and then at 10 a.m. the core PC price index. So heavy on the news today. Let's see how the market treats us during this period from 8:15 on. Alrighty, let's jump over to the charts. And it's the last day today, guys. What do we got? The 30th of April. Last opportunity to grab your 80% off evals from Apex. And also your 30 to 35% off from Tradeify. Last day today. Remember, code Jimmy Trades for Tradeify and code Jimmy for Apex. All right, so over here on NQ, what did we have? We had a bullish bias yesterday, and it looks like we got that. Bullish bias did play out. Wasn't as strong as I would like to have seen. It would have been nice to see a close above the previous day high, but we didn't get that. What did ES do? Well, ES did close above previous day high, so we can note that, keep that in mind. ES a little bit stronger. Now, if we have a look at, the bars aren't that large, right? Because we're going to probably fall into a little bit of consolidation here until non-farm payroll drops on Friday. Trading conditions will be lower probability between now and that news drop on Friday. So do keep that in mind. What I'll be looking for today, though, is I will be looking for previous day high. You can see we're respecting the 50% level of the previous day's range. We're still stuck in this bearish FEG on the daily. I want to see a close above the midpoint of this gap for us to potentially look to move higher, okay, and get out through and look for, this wick here definitely stands out for me, okay. But we need to get a nice close above the midpoint of that gap before anything else. So we keep moving, see if we can get some movement in the right direction here, and then we'll target this high. Let's have a look at the hourly. We are continuing to move higher here. We haven't rolled over just yet. But until we get that change in state of delivery, potentially a close through this level. Or we see NQ put in this sort of move, and we get that change in state of delivery. We'll continue to look for higher prices, and that, of course, is previous day high up here is where we want to look for first. Jumping over to ES, let's check out ES on the daily. And we are getting close. We haven't quite closed through this gap, but damn, we're close. We did close above previous day high. So like yesterday's high, low hanging fruit, respecting 50% of the previous day range. So looking for price to run out the highs here, and then we'll reassess. We could also get an inside bar, who knows? We could just consolidate with the news coming in on Friday. Again, same deal here. We are continuing to put in higher highs and higher lows. So we can see that price is still stepping up here at the moment. No reason to look bearish just yet. Have a look at oil. Here on the daily, continuing our bearish idea. Quite a strong bearish move yesterday as well. Coming off a swing low here, which we are respecting at the moment. However, looking at how price is reacting off the previous day, we have price still respecting the 25% level of the previous day's range. So as we move lower, yet to see a real change in the state of delivery. Pretty aggressive candle here, straight up into a bearish FEG and reacting out of that as well. This could be our change in state of delivery here. It's not as well defined as I'd like it to be. You can see here in using the line chart, looks more like a little fractal sort of move, rather than a clear, it doesn't quite look like that, does it? That's what I would prefer to see. Let's keep an eye on this. We're respecting the bearish PD arrays. Once we do reverse, sure, there's plenty of low resistance liquidity for price to reach for. But at the moment, we are continuing to chip our way and move lower. Going to keep our bearish bias to the time being. Having a look at euro. We did get a bearish move yesterday, but price still inside the range of Monday. And if we have a look, we're actually inside the range here of last Wednesday's candle. So we're in a bit of a consolidation period here. I think we'll find that gold's probably doing a similar thing. We're going to see price take out one side of the range here. Now this gap is still being respected, albeit just we've closed lower. I'm going to look for the low here to be our draw liquidity today. Yeah, we've already taken previous day low, but we are in that little range here. And we are respecting that 50% level to the tick just about of the previous day's range. So I'm going to stay bearish. Let's move to the hourly and just see if there's any reason to consider a bullish move. And not yet. We're just creating these value swings as we move lower. Nothing decisive to show us that we're turning around just yet. We do have low resistance liquidity on the other side of price here as well. it's actually quite easy to see here the range that we're in at the moment. We're just chopping away. So what we want to see is price come lower and then give us a decisive move higher, or vice versa. So move lower. Okay, sweep out this liquidity, get out of this range, and then give us the real move. But we are waiting for non-farm payroll. I dare say that's what's going on here. We'll keep a bearish bias for now anyway. Let's have a look at Dixie, because it's going to be much the same. Let's have a look at the daily, because we do have Dixie as the inverse correlated asset. It's inversely correlated. Yeah, so it's a little bit different here. Small bullish move yesterday. We had a bullish bias, but I mean, it's not convincing, is it? Swept out previous day high. We're looking to sweep out the Monday high. Let's have a look at the hourly. It's hardly convincing, but we are getting closures above these opposing candles and then respecting those levels. But while we continue to do that, then I anticipate we'll see price move higher. Moving over to gold. Looks like we're finally getting that move lower. We're targeting this low here into this bullish FEG. We can see here, same with gold, this Wednesday range. We've just literally been inside that last week's Wednesday's candle range. But it does look like we might be finally moving to those lows to sweep that out. If we do that, then I'll be looking to see if price wants to reverse from there. We were looking at this, I believe, yesterday, and similar to what we just pointed out with 6E, we can get a sweep of this low here. Plenty of liquidity down here into that bullish FEG, and then we can look to see price want to run higher from there after we get that change in the state of delivery. But I'm going to be bearish for gold for the time being. And look, this could change this by the time we get to New York Open this morning. This could have already, price could have already swept out this low, okay? But I always reevaluate, reassess when I get back to the charts before New York Open. GBP. Let's get rid of that. Have a look at the daily. So GU and EU correlated assets. I was running with a bullish bias yesterday, which is probably not, well, clearly not right, but we're having this strong move. And I was looking at these equal highs to be swept out. That hasn't happened here. And look, we are down into a bullish daily FEG. Doesn't mean I'm immediately bullish though, because that is our bullish bias. I'll be looking at the bodies of these opposing candles to see if that supports price down to that 50% level. We might even wick down to that and then push higher. I don't imagine that we have a bullish change in the state of delivery yet. So we'll just look for these levels to potentially support price if price is going to move higher. And then we see those equal highs up here as the draw liquidity. But low resistance liquidity through here. But in order to see price move higher, we're going to need to see that bounce off of these areas of interest here. It could be there or it could be down here. Bearish for the time being on GU until we see a reversal pattern playing out. Daily crypto, let's go to Bitcoin. Jeepers. Well, Bitcoin just playing around, isn't it? Bitcoin waiting for non-farm payroll as well. We're just consolidating here, printing some barcode, as they say. Still unable to get a close above this high. Really want to see that close above that high. I'm going to remain bullish. I'd like to see previous day high swept. I mean, we can see that we just stayed inside the range of Monday's high here. So I'd like to see Tuesday's high swept being the low hanging fruit. We'll see how that plays out. All righty, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to share the channel far and wide. Grab those evals before time runs out. We can OSOC on Friday. And we will catch you in Trade Foundry. Bye for now.